Yes, please. Okay, thank you. Welcome, council, welcome, staff, members in the audience, those watching us at home. I just want to say, if you haven't voted, please still get out and vote. It's a very important election. So could you please rise and join me in O Canada, and please remain standing for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. At the town of New Tecumseh, we acknowledge that we are on treaty lands and traditional territory of Anishinaabe peoples, specifically the Ojibwe, Chippewa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi peoples, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. This land is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. New Tecumseh is covered by the Lake Simcoe Nottawasaga Treaty, number 18, signed on October 17th, 1818 with the Chippewa Nation. We acknowledge that we are all treaty people and accept the responsibility to honor all our relations and move forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect. Before I open up to awards and recognitions, I just want to thank the Deputy Mayor for stepping in last Wednesday and chairing the meeting for me. It was greatly appreciated. We had a family emergency. It's nice to know that you were there and you were able to take care of that. So I just wanted to publicly say thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. Are there any awards and recognitions? Councillor Biss, please.
Thank you, Worship. I would like to pass along my deepest condolences to Catholics everywhere on the passing of His Holiness Pope Francis, Your Worship.
Thank you very much for that, Councillor Biss. Councillor Masters.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd just like to remind people in the audience and residents out there that it's Blood Donors coming up this month. May the 17th is Tottenham. And May the 22nd is held in Allison. So for further details, you can check blooddonors.ca. And it's in you to give. Please attend. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Masters. You're always constantly reminding us, which is great. Councillor Gabbard, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to recognize the South Simcoe Streams Network. We had a tree planting event in the Beaton Creek in Tottenham over the weekend. So thank you very much for them to organizing that. And we do have a GoFundMe account that has just been set up. So please sponsor if you're able. And then that leads me into where they will be next.
Where are they going to be next? Oh. Sorry, I didn't catch the hand signals.
Sorry.
Councillor Rappin.
Well, they'll be at Earthfest this Saturday. Thank you for mentioning that. Earthfest Saturday, 11 till 2, right here at the Town Hall. We have a lot of things happening. There's a bike rodeo. There is presentations happening right here in Council Chambers. There are tours of our Town Hall available, and there's also a repair cafe. where you can get some stuff stitched up if you need it stitched up, or a toaster fixed, if you will. And we also have our bike repairs happening. So pretty busy on Saturday here at Earthfest, but leading up to Earthfest is this Wednesday is a documentary being presented by the Environmental Advisory Committee for free at Circle Theatre at 6:30 this Wednesday, called Plastic People. And it deals with microplastics and how they're finding them everywhere, in our food, in our brains, in our blood system. And so it's pretty interesting and kind of scary, but we need to see it and learn it and figure out how to battle it, I guess. That being said, finally, also wanted to do a shout out to the Boyne River cleanup crew. A couple weeks ago, we got, I don't know, between 15 and 20 bags of garbage all along the Boyne River and the downtown core. Thank you to everyone that helped out with that. And thank you to everyone that's been picking up a bag and moving around our community for Earth Week. We greatly appreciate it.
No, thank you, Councillor Rappin. I know you and Councillor Cox have put a lot of work into this Earthfest, so I hear it's going to be absolutely spectacular. Councillor Jacks, please.
Thank you, Your Worship, and if you'll indulge me, I've got a short list.
Sure.
On this past Easter weekend, April 19th, Saturday, there was an excellent first annual event that occurred at Station 3 in Tottenham, and it was the Tottenham Lions Club had hosted a pancake breakfast, and actually they hosted an Easter celebration, including an Easter egg hunt for the community, the children. Our Station 3 firefighters put on a heck of a breakfast, and it was well attended. Such another wonderful way for the community to see what a gorgeous facility that is. And there was a lot of smiles, a great turnout. It was a wonderful event, and I hear it's the first annual and many more to come. As someone who grew up in Tottenham, going to Station 3's pancake breakfast every year during Community Week, it was really wonderful to see that community event resurrected and on Resurrection Weekend. So there you go. The second is this past Saturday. The Tottenham and Beaton District Chamber of Commerce hosted the second annual home show. And it was also excellent. Dozens of vendors, a great turnout, a wonderful adventure to take the family out to, given that it was winter-like conditions. So it was well done. A real highlight this year as well was seeing that the town of New Tecumseh had quite a big presence there, with both our emergency services having set up a booth and our public works department setting up, and lots of staff in attendance to answer questions and engage with the community. So a really great initiative at a great annual event. And lastly, as we're all coming out of hibernation and what will be quite a contentious election season, this coming Saturday, May the 3rd, will be the Crick annual draw and dance at the Tottenham Community Centre. It is the Community Recreation Improvement Committee that puts on this annual event. It's a spectacular evening out. It's $75 a ticket, and that includes admission of 2 people with dinner and dancing and thousands of dollars worth of prizes. It's really, I think the grand prize is $20,000. So it's a good elimination draw. Your odds are 1 in 1,200 to win 20 grand. And I think those odds these days are pretty good. So anyway, it's a great event coming up. Crick does incredible things in our community, and it's a wonderful way to put a smile on your face after a long season. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. You're right, it was a busy weekend, but it was a really great weekend. Lots of good things going on. Are there any other? Okay, I'm not seeing any. So I'm going to go to confirmation of the agenda. So I'm going to look to the clerk to identify any items to add or delete to the agenda, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. There are no items to add or delete at this time.
Thank you. So then I'd look to Councillor Biss and Councillor Jacks to move in second. Be resolved that the agenda for the council meeting held on Monday, April 28, 2025 be confirmed as circulated. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Okay, I'm not seeing any. If you find yourself in that position, please just hit your mic and it'll come up on the screen. So we're going to go to the adoption of council minutes. I have a motion, be it resolved that the minutes of the council meeting dated April 7th, 2025 be adopted as circulated. Councillor Masters, will you move that? Deputy Mayor, will you second that? Thank you. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you, council. Determination of items requiring separate discussion. I'm going to look to the clerk to identify items for separate discussion and the reason thereof, please, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Your Worship. There are no items for separate discussion.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'll go to council to identify items for separate discussion. Councillor Harrison McIntyre, please.
R1, please.
Councillor Biss, please.
Thank you, Worship. I'd also like to speak to R-1.
Thank you. Councillor Masters, please.
So, yeah, that's one.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go out to members of the public to identify items for separate discussion under the section reports for information or immediate discussion. And I'm not seeing any. So I'm going to go to the clerk now to summarize all items identified for separate discussion, please, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Your Worship. The item called for separate discussion is R-1, 2024 Fire Department Annual Report.
Thank you very much. So we have a motion, be it resolved that items CW1 to CW5 on the Committee of the Whole meeting report dated April 7th, 2025, and items on the Joint Committee of the Whole Planning Public Meeting report dated April 9th, 2025, including additional information memorandums, with the exception of those items identified for separate discussion, be approved and the recommendations therein be adopted. And further, that communication items and any other item listed on the council meeting agenda dated April 28th, 2025, with the exception of those items identified for separate discussion, be received and or adopted. Councillor Harrison McIntyre, would you move that? Thank you. Councillor Rappin, would you second that? Thank you. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you very much. We have no deputations requiring statutory or public meetings. We have no deputations relating to new matters. So now we're going to go to R1. Councillor Harrison McIntyre, you pulled it first, please.
Thank you. I was reminded recently from a resident who was calling to find out about getting a burn permit, that a while back we had been looking at a way to have residents get those sort of permits, like burn permits, at community centers or at locations other than the up here. So I'm just circling back to that because I know it was something that we had talked about. Is that something that is possible? And if so, when can we do it? Sooner the better.
I'm going to go to the Fire Chief Hayden, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you to Councillor Harrison McIntyre. The majority of the burn permits that we do now are online, actually by email. Very few are actually coming through a person-to-person meeting. And we're hoping to, and expected or anticipated to have it in place already, but we're working on a new resource management system through our dispatch center with City Barrie. And one of the modules that we're looking at is that burn permit module. So it will be part of that system. It will tie into our CAD system. So that's still on the works, but we're still seeing many of them come by email rather than in person. But hopefully it becomes a module, something that we can post on the website whenever we do get there.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Next up was Councillor Biss. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Councillor. Oh, go ahead.
Are all aspects of the permit, including payment, something that people can do online? And is it just the burn permit? What about the fire apparatus? That's something that you come out to do in person, I understand. So just wondering, like, from the start to the finish, how much of it can be done online?
Fire Chief.
Certainly. Thank you, Your Worship. Through you to the councillor. At this point and in the future, everything can be done online, including the payment. And any scheduling that's done is done at this point through an email to the fire prevention officer, scheduling of apparatus. There is no payment for events, as mentioned in the report, but any of that's done online as well through email.
Thank you. Councillor Biss.
Thank you, Worship. Through your worship to Chief Hayden, I just want to highlight just a couple of things and then ask a couple of questions. An 8.36% increase in emergency responses in 2024 over 2023, with a total of 1,245 responses. We've gone through one quarter so far this year. How is that trending, Chief?
Chief.
Thank you. Through you to Councillor Biss. Actually, we're trending slightly downward so far in the first quarter this year, and that's directly related to a change in the medical priority dispatch system. So MPDS came into effect through the Simcoe County paramedics and through their associated fire department support late in 2024. We're now starting to see that adjustment slightly, so our medical responses are down.
Thank you, Chief. Also, I noticed you made mention, once again, a great report. It covers a lot of ground, a lot of information for us to digest, and then, of course, share with the community. New fire hall construction, fire hall number 4 in the Treetops area. I see that the request for proposal has closed. Do you have any timeline, maybe through to you, Chief, or maybe to the CAO, of when we'll begin to see shovels in the ground?
So I'm going to direct that over to General Manager Horn, please.
Through your worship to Councillor Biss, the contract's been awarded, and there should be shovels in the ground by probably right shortly in the next couple of weeks, mid-May, which then we'll have some announcements on some type of opening or a ground turning ceremony that's there as well. So stay tuned. There'll be more information in that regard.
Thank you, Jim. Last question, Your Worship. Through worship to Chief Hayden. Of course, fire hall number 4, great news. Looks like we're going to get shovels in the ground, by May. Of course, then that leads us to recruitment. We've seen some, not just our firefighters, but also other elements of society having difficulty recruiting people these days, like the military, police, et cetera. Is there any effort? Sorry, if you could just maybe give us an update on the efforts of recruitment, especially for staffing Fire Station 4.
Chief.
Sure. Thank you, Your Worship. Through you to Councillor Biss. We've been doing recruitment specific door-to-door through the Treetops area since 2013 in anticipation of Station number 4. As we sit here today, we have 8 members that are picked out for that station that live locally in that area. One of those is actually, unfortunately, going to move. He's bought a house in Alliston, so we'll be down to 7 shortly. We are doing another recruitment this fall, and we will be out through the community again doing door-to-door campaigns and dropping flyers and all of that good stuff. Social media, as we've always done in the past, with the hopes that we continue to find some able bodies in the community that want to join the fire service, but unfortunately it hasn't been successful to the point where we've had 20 or 30 where we hope to be at this time. It's not happened at this point.
Okay, thank you very much for those questions. Thank you, Chief. Councillor Masters, you were next.
Thank you, Worship. Oh, that's great news, Chief Hayden. I'm sure that my residents will also appreciate that. A couple of questions. Curious more than anything. I noticed that I wondered how procurement is going to affect you now that a lot of our key firefighting equipment comes from the USA, especially our recent high ladder and pumper, I think it was out of the USA. And I wondered, since they seem to be a prime source of heavy equipment these days, do we have good Canadian sources that we can start to look towards? That's my first question.
I'll go to the Chief.
Thank you, Worship. Through you to Councillor Masters. We've aligned the delivery of the 2 apparatus for Station number 4 to coincide with what we anticipate maybe the opening in 18 to 20 months from now. So we did actually order two pieces of apparatus about 2.5 months ago. Bought them through a dealer in Ontario, and they're being actually manufactured in Quebec. So we tried to stay within a Canadian source and have as much Canadian content as possible, although we all understand there will be U.S. components in that, which are unavoidable, but we've tried to focus obviously on the Canadian piece and having the delivery coincide with the opening of the station.
Well done, Chief.
Thanks, Chief. My second question, I was just looking at your call chart that you have here, stations 1, 2, 3. I wondered if there's, does this include like cross-service reference? In other words, you may have a fire station called out for a fire, then have to call on station 2 or station 3 to support you. Is it recorded there? Joint response. Oh, joint response down there. Okay, so this joint response line down here, I see station 2 is probably the highest use when it comes to joint response.
I'll go to the Chief.
Yeah. Thank you, Your Worship. Through you to Councillor Masters. That's correct. The joint response indicates the times that station would be a support to another station. And because Station 2 in Beaton is the central station, it tends to run north and south and has multiple calls as compared to the others.
Okay, thanks. Thanks very much.
Thank you. So we have a motion here. Be it resolved, report number fire 2025-03 be received. Councillor Biss, you'll move that. Councillor Jacks, you'll second that. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you, Council. So I'm going to move on to the bylaws, please. Be it resolved that the following bylaws be read a first, second, and third time enacted. 2025-042, 2025-043. Councillor Masters, you'll move that. Deputy Mayor, you will second that. Thank you. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. General information for members of council. I'm not seeing any. Oh, Councillor Rappin.
Sorry, I tried to get this in the previous motion, but I know that Treetops has a really strong social group, and they're constantly doing stuff. So I know it might be worth setting the fire department up with meeting with them so that they're involved in those open houses and various boo bashes and things that they do just to help with recruitment.
Oh, thank you for that, and I'm sure the chief will take that under advisement. Thank you. We don't have any public notices, so we have the confirming bylaw. Be resolved that bylaw 2025-044 to confirm the proceeding of council at its meeting on April 28th. 2025 be read a first, second, and third time and enacted. Councillor Harrison McIntyre, will you move that, please? Thank you. Councillor Rappin? Second. Thank you very much. All those in favor? That's carried. And we have adjournment. Motion be resolved that the meeting adjourn at 6:23 p.m. I'd look to Councillor Gabrick to move it and Councillor Cox to second it. Thank you. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you, Council. So we're going to move right into our committee. I just need a moment here, please. Okay, thank you. So the confirmation of agenda, we have a recommendation that the agenda for the committee of the whole meeting held on April 28, 2025 be confirmed as circulated. Councillor Cox, will you move that? Okay, Councillor Gabrick, will you second that? Thank you. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you, Council. Disclosures of pecuniary interest. Any members have a disclosure of pecuniary interest? Okay, I'm not seeing it. If you find yourself in that position, please hit your button. I'm going to go to the clerk now to identify items for separate discussion and the reason thereof. Please, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Your Worship. There are no items for separate discussion.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go to council now to identify items for separate discussion. Councillor Masters, please.
CW12, please.
Thank you. Councillor Biss.
Thank you, Worship. CW11, CW21, CW52, please.
Okay. I'm going to go to the members now of the public to identify items for separate discussion. I'm not seeing any, so now I'll go to the clerk to summarize all items identified for separate discussion, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. CW11, pump track, written motion by Councillor Rappin. CW12, opposition to strong mayor powers designation in New Tecumseh. Written motion by Councillor Cox. CW21, Traffic Advisory Committee Summary Report dated April 3rd, 2025. And lastly, CW52, 2025 Community Grant Program Requests.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have a recommendation that all items not identified for separate discussion be received, and the recommendation is therein be recommended to council for adoption. Councillor Rappin, will you move that? Yes. Thank you. Councillor Harrison McIntyre, will you second that? Thank you very much. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you, council. So we're going to go on to CW11, which is the pump track, and Councillor Biss, you called that, please.
Thank you, Worship. Through your worship to Councillor Rappin and perhaps to the Director of Financial Services. We see here in the motion, I'll read the first paragraph, whereas the town of New Tecumseh has allocated $169,000 toward the design and construction of an all-wheels park as outlined in the approved 2020 budget under Project PRC 2020-013 with funds from the Development Charges Reserve Funds and Capital Reserves. So my question is twofold. I think Councillor Rappin has been very open and transparent about what this is, and I appreciate that, and also how much it would cost. I understand that it'll cost less than $169,000. My question is, though, are we going to be funding the pump track and defunding the all-wheels park with this motion?
Councillor Rappin, did you want to respond? Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you.
The thing is with youth committees and youth things that we want to do for our youth is they're youth for 5 years and then they become adults, and it's not. This money was put away 5 years ago and for a group of kids that were a group of kids at that point, and that money has sat there and nothing's happened, and they've all gone to university or college or they're now in the workforce, and the money's still sitting there. So I do not want to take away from the all-wheel skate park whatsoever. I want that to still go forward as the big pie in the sky idea that it is, and I'm excited for it when it's finally brought together. What I look at the pump track here, and the key word on it is modular. So it's something that it's temporary in its location. If we want it to be temporary in its location, it's something that gets the ball rolling, gets our youth excited, and using it, it gets our older people excited in using it, because this is for everyone, including scooters, bikes, rollerblades, wheelchairs. A pump track can be used by anyone and everyone, hopefully, and it doesn't. The idea of a pump track isn't as scary as the idea of a skate park for someone like me. I'm not going to get on a skateboard and do an ollie and go up and come back down a half pipe and stuff like that. That's just not in my world anymore. But a pump track still has an accessibility for my age group and older and younger. So I just want to get the ball rolling, Councillor Biss, and I think this is the way. We've got the money sitting there. Let's use it rather than having it move forward a few more years. And let's use this as the jumping off spot for a much bigger plan. And with it being modular, once that bigger plan comes into fruition, the modular aspect is this can move to one of our other centers. If Allison is fortunate enough and gets the all-wheels park, then that pump track can move to Beaton, and it can move to Tottenham, and it can move around like that as well, which I think definitely helps out our community.
Thank you for those comments. Councillor Biss, did you have another question? Or comment?
Yeah, thank you, Worship. Through Worship to Councillor Rappin or to staff, I guess my question, and I'm 100% support the pump track, don't get me wrong. I just need us to be very clear as to where the money is coming from. If the motion is to allocate $169,000 towards this, then that should be something that should be debated. And then if that's the case, where's the money coming from? Because in this case, I just want to be clear that if we take $100,000 out of the, that was designed for the, or meant for the all wheels park. I don't know why I can't talk tonight. And that, I just want to be clear where the money's coming from. It hasn't been budgeted, and I think it would be important for us to understand. I noticed one of your points on page 2 was council approve. What you would like us to do is to approve the use of all or part of the allocated $169,000 to procure a mobile pump truck. I just want to be clear, if it's not coming out of the All Wheels Park fund, where's it going to come from?
Thank you. I'm actually going to go to the CAO.
Through you, Your Worship, the way I understand this motion is that the funding for the pump track would come from the funds that are currently designated for the all-wheels track, or the the all-wheels park. So if and when that project would move forward, it would either have to fall within the remaining funds, or we would have to return to council to ask for additional funds.
Councillor Biss, follow up.
Thank you, Worship. Through your Worship to the CAO, that's fantastic. Thank you for the clarification. Like I said, I absolutely support it. I just wanted to understand, just that we're not defunding the All Wheels Park for this and vice versa. So thank you for clarifying that. And I absolutely support this, and I'll second the motion, Councillor Rappin.
I'm going to go to Did you want to respond, CAO?
Just for greater clarity, so the budget's $169,000. So any or all of that would detract from funds available from the All Wheels Park. So if we would have to come back to council to seek more funds for the All Wheels Park, just so we're clear.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Jacks?
Thank you. Through your worship, just a comment in support of the pump track. I think it's heartwarming to see that the age for use of our recreation facilities like the gym at TCFC anyway is 14. And if you attend that building or that gym and fitness center anytime from, I'm going to say 3 o'clock until about 7, actually late, 8 or 9, it is filled with youth. And I don't know if all the adults love that, but I think it's more heartwarming to see, because not only is it, obviously promoting a healthy lifestyle, but I think it's indicative of the need for recreation and larger installation that our youth can access. I'm glad, without having teen centers or I don't know what we did. Actually, I do, and we need new things because we don't want to do what we did growing up. It's nice to see, and Councillor Rappin, I support the initiative, and I think getting something, even if it is more temporary, I would support that, and also the longer-term vision for the skate park to come.
No, thank you for those comments. Councillor Gabrick?
Thank you very much. Councillor Rappin, correct me if I'm wrong, but the $69,000 that we would initially invest into the pump track is just the 4 turns?
Councillor Rappin?
So, not to bypass procurement, but pump tracks are in catalogs and you can look at them and see what's out there. So there's a pump track that sells for about $65,000, and it's what's referred to as a speed track. And it's just how fast you can go around it. And then 20,000 more, and there's got a dipsy doodle and some other stuff in it, and so it adds that. And also, because they're modular, you can add sections to them each year too. So if one of our community partners comes in and says, we'd like to donate to your pump track, just put our name on and it follows sponsorship rules, put our name on that edge and call it something death curve. Whatever. Anyway, these are things we can do. You are able to add on to it. So I was saving my video for 2 weeks from now for council, but we've got to watch the video now, because this would be an example of about the track I'm on is around an $85,000 track. So slightly up from the 65. But ladies, would you mind putting the video on? There we go. Thank you.
Sorry, that should go through the chair.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So, Councillor Rappin, how long's your video? Is that like 45 minutes or an hour?
30 seconds.
Okay,
30
great.
seconds.
Then go ahead and play it.
35 seconds. It's awesome. You should see what I just did there. The pressure. We're getting old Canada, aren't we?
Well done, Councillor Rappin. I don't think that thing looks safe, to be honest with you, the way you were going around it.
It looks fun.
No, well done. Councillor Cox, please.
No, thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to add my comments in that I am absolutely supportive of this. It would be a wonderful initiative to have something that's mobile that can be provided to all three of our communities. Also something that brings to light the all-wheels skate park that we had established 5 years ago. That is going to cost just a little over $1 million, with half of that being provided with support from council by the community. So it would be great to have this out here and bring some realization to the community as to their component that that they would be contributing. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Gabrick, I don't think you were done, and my apologies.
No, that's okay, no problem at all. My second question was, because it's an outdoor piece and probably not usable during the winter months, I was just curious as to where and how we would store that and how we would transport that, like just in terms of the size of the unit and where in the town's facilities we could keep that,
Okay,
if it needs to go indoors.
I'll go to GM Horn, please. Sorry.
Through your worship to Councillor Gabrick, that's when that gets referred back to staff, that's something that we can consider. Initial reviews on it is it can be stored outside, and the pieces are fairly large, so it would be a flatbed of some description that would have to move it. We wouldn't be moving it frequently, so it would be something we would arrange, even if it's hiring a company to come in and move it from location to location. It won't be that expensive.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, Your Worship, I just had one last question.
Go ahead.
It's with regards to liability. I just want to be sure that the town's not putting itself in a position where injuries can occur. I know for the last several years, we're not allowed to toboggan in the community, which is a shame, but for obvious reasons. So I just want to make sure that we're considering all of the angles before we commit to the piece of equipment.
Okay, I'll go to the GM, if that's okay. Thank you.
Through your worship to Councillor Gabrick, we'll definitely make sure that it fits within our insurance that's there. My initial thought is assuming other municipalities are already utilizing it, same as an all-wheels park or something like that. So we should be able to make sure we accommodate it in our insurance.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have a recommendation, it's a long one. Whereas the town of New-Tecumseh has allocated $169,000 toward the design and construction of an all-wheels park, as outlined in the approved 2020 budget, under project PRC 2020-013, with funds from the Development Charges Reserve Fund and capital reserves. And whereas the original all-wheel park proposal was initiated through a deputation by the OPP Youth Outreach Team and Constable Joseph Chamberlain, who has since continued to engage in fundraising, community consultation, and conceptual design for a permanent all-wheels facility. And whereas pump tracks offer a safe, modular, and inclusive option for engaging youth and residents of all skill levels, providing physical activity, opportunities for bikes, scooters, skateboards, rollerblades, and wheelchairs. And whereas the activation of a mobile pump truck would create immediate recreational value for the community, stimulate awareness of the All Wheels project, and accelerate grassroots fundraising through events and sponsorship opportunities. And whereas town staff have confirmed that the budget is available and that future site selection is open for exploration based on community accessibility, event use, and overall suitability. Now therefore it be it resolved that council approve the use of all or part of the allocated $169,000 to procure a mobile pump track. Council directs staff to work with OPP Youth Outreach and Constable Chamberlain to support education, recreation, and fundraising for a permanent all-wheels park. Staff report back to council with proposed sites for the mobile pump track, prioritizing accessibility, visibility, and foot traffic while exploring longer-term feasibility for a permanent park. Staff engaged with the town's communications team to promote the mobile pump track schedule and fundraising initiatives, including opportunities for local businesses and service groups to sponsor or participate in the campaign. Staff investigate additional grant opportunities to support this initiative, maximize the impact of the town's investment, and report back with opportunities to leverage matching funds, sponsorships, and donations. Councillor Rappin, I know you're going to move that, and I know Councillor Cox had a hand in this too, so I'm going to ask you to second that. Thank you. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you very much. We're moving on to CW12, opposition to strong mayor's powers, designation of New Tecumseh. It's CW12, and told by Councillor Masters, please. Councillor Masters.
Thank you. Thank you, Worship. Boy, this has been a contentious item for a long time, hasn't it? I appreciate Councillor Cox's concerns in putting this motion forward. However, I think we should consider the following. Currently under the Municipal Act 2001, Section 225, the mayor is the head of the town and is responsible for the general welfare of the city and its residents. Basically, the mayor is the chief honcho. In this role, the mayor is also the head of the municipal council and to act as chief executive officer of the corporation under the Act, to preside over council meetings, to provide leadership to council. Also, currently, the mayor has the power to vote on matters before council in the event of a tie. People may not know that at home. The Ontario government has initiated a strong mayor's policy in support of the Build Homes Faster Bill 23, targeting an unprecedented 1.5 million homes by 2031. On December the 8th, 2022, the Ontario legislature passed the Better Municipal Governance Act 2022, which expanded the mayor's powers by adding the ability to pass a bylaw with only 1/3 support of council, if it relates specifically to the priorities defined by the provincial government under the Act. The head of the council can choose to veto certain bylaws if they are of the opinion that all or parts of the bylaw could potentially interfere with the provincial priority and this regulation. The mayor was elected by the people in this town with the expectation that he or she would act in the best interest of the town, and its residents. And New Tecumseh, the provincial government's strong mayor's directive reflects and is amplified tenfold, in my view, as a result of the huge investment by the provincial and federal governments have poured into our community in the millions of dollars, and in the case of Honda, in the billions, the largest investment in the history of Canada. I respect our mayor to do what is needed for our community. However, with so much at stake, and knowing all the eyes are upon us, I would not deny the mayor of this strong mayor's extra tool for his toolbox, if and when it was needed. I think I just have one question for the mayor, if I may. If this motion happens to go through, and we're involved in this part of the regulation under Bill 23, and we have a styed vote, what would be the next step you would have to take as the mayor?
I'm not sure I understand. So this decision of strong mayor powers is not council's. It is the province of Ontario, and they're making the decisions. I think the intent of the motions before us is to once again say to the province that we don't agree with it. However, it's not our decision. It's not our choice. It is their choice to make it. And we will find out May 1st. I think it's going to happen. I mean, all roads indicate, but so Councillor Masters, if I got the gist of your question, The province is going to set the rules. The province are going to lay out the playbook and what can and can't be done. And I believe that the clerk, did you want to add anything, or I think I probably covered everything.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, just for clarification, the province has put us on notice that they plan to make New Tecumseh part of the Strong Mayor Power municipalities. So there's 168 other municipalities that they also notified that their plans are to make those municipalities have the powers as well. And that will be part of a future regulation that will come into effect May 1st.
Supplementary?
Sure, go
So
ahead.
that's mandatory through you to...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, so the
okay.
minister does have the ability through the Municipal Act to prescribe municipalities that would fall within a regulation, and he has deemed New Tecumseh to fall in part of that prescribed list effective May 1st, along with 168 other municipalities.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you. I'm going to go to the Deputy Mayor, please.
Thank you, Mayor Norcross. I'm going to need a minute. I honestly think the province is initiating the Strong Mayors Act because it's a lot easier to pressure one person than it is to pressure a whole council. That's where I think we're at with the province. They're shoving growth down our throat, and we're on it. However, I've consistently maintained the opinion that finding the developers to develop is not the problem. Finding the land to develop is also not the problem. Finding councils willing to grow their towns is also not the problem. The problem is infrastructure. And all these small wee towns that are just north of the GTA don't have hundreds of millions of dollars to invest in water and wastewater. So I've always maintained they're starting with the wrong problem. The problem isn't the willingness and the ability to do it. The problem is infrastructure. And it does sound like the province is going to shove this down our throat, whether we like it or not. What we could do as a council, and we could pledge, the mayor could pledge not to use Strong Mayors, and that could be a pledge made to the town of New Tecumseh around this table. That's what we could do. And finally, I believe in democracy. I believe in the value of diverse voices around this council table and the power of collaboration. These powers should not replace the democratic process of council deliberation, teamwork, and cooperation. This is attacking our municipal democracy and the residents' rights to vote for their representatives and have their elected representatives' voices heard and votes counted. Strong Mayor's powers have no place in municipal politics, as we live in Canada and a thriving democracy. So I do not think we need them. And I think this is just a tactic by the province to be able to pressure a single person as opposed to a whole council. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Jacks, please.
Thank you, through your worship. While I understand when this was something that was discussed or deliberated by council initially, I can completely appreciate the vulnerable position that we would find ourselves in, thinking that democracy and a fair vote or fair representation could be manipulated or taken from us, and ergo taken from the people who have elected us into our respective seats at this council. That said, I've always interpreted it as a measure that would be used in extraordinary circumstances, and that it would not be something that was going to be used as a new way of working and a new way of governance. I hope that that would not be perceived as naive or optimistic. I think that I have faith in every person that sits around this council, and although we don't always agree, I do believe that there's been intention and action that has demonstrated integrity and the best interest of the town of New Tecumseh. And I believe that regardless of it being mandated and prescribed in this term, it would apply, ongoing. And that could include, a completely different group of people sitting around this table. And I would still want to have the same faith in the people that would be elected around this council in the next term as well. So I support the province's position from the fact that we've already sent a letter to the province stating from this council that we were in opposition, and we find ourselves with this back in front of us again. So at this point, I'm willing to put the faith in the people that are sitting around this council right now and our judgment and the use of this in a very responsible manner in extraordinary times. And I don't think that another letter back to the province in protest is the right way forward at this time.
Thank you. Councillor Rappin, please.
Okay, sorry, I don't have any big written thing, but there's a few things bouncing around. Of the, I believe it was 163 or 158, how many have already sent this letter and said, we don't want it? Does someone have that number? Or are we the first to do this? Or, yeah.
I don't think we would have an answer to that question.
Well, do you want me to keep talking? Or?
Yeah, keep talking.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
please.
if you have that number, anybody, welcome to talk about it later. The advantage of the 10 of us is that we're multidisciplined. We come from different walks of life, and we see things differently. And I hope that the way I approach things is seen as having some value. And some of the time, if not a little bit more than that, preferably. But each of you, I value what you're bringing to the table and the way you see things, and I appreciate that, and I need that in order to make a lot of the decisions I have to make. The thing is, with a strong mayor powers, is out of the table of 10 now, 3 or 4 don't need to be even listened to or looked at in terms of what they're bringing to the table and the view they have on something. And I kind of think it's important for us to have everyone's view and understand everyone's view and make our decision based on that. In terms of using it in emergency situations, well, is that the case? The cities that have a strong mayor, everything I read about strong mayors is they just keep firing CAOs. Like, are you telling me your community couldn't work with that CAO and it was an emergency to fire a CAO? No offense to our CAO, but he looks nervous over there. Anyway, no. But like, that's not an emergency, but that's what the strong mayors are using it for. And finally, I have faith in the group here around the table. I have no faith in the group around the table 4 years from now, because I don't know who they are. I don't know what they're bringing to it. And this thing that's being thrust upon us, and we're just supposed to, because we've already said no once, now we don't have to say no anymore. We just need to accept it. I don't agree with that. Like, if we said no once, we should be saying no again. Big deal. If they force it on us, big deal. They force it on us. But it's the future. This is a rule that's going to stick and may never be undone. And therefore, our community, if we care about it at all, could end up with a real idiot running the show that disregards a lot of stuff and does things the way they want to do it. And the 3 people, if you just take our township, we've got 3 representatives of Alliston. If the mayor can disregard those 3 people that are representing Alliston, that's a whole group being ignored. Do we really want that? Or, like I don't understand. It's a no-brainer to me, sorry.
I'm just going to go through once, and then we'll end it, and I'll call the vote on this because we've had this discussion before. Councillor Cox, can you hit your mic again, please? Or no, is it on? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. There has been at least a dozen other municipalities that have opposed this. We got Perry Sound, Seguin Township, Blue Mountains, Rideau Lakes, Aurelia, Barrie. when it comes to the strong mayor model, it concentrates authority in one elected official, bypassing the traditions of decision-making, collaboration, collective debate that are the heart of our local democracy. It shifts us away from majority rule, and it risks undermining the very trust our residents place in our elected officials. And we have to go back to the fact that we are elected officials, and we are elected here by the residents. We are not here to represent the province. We're here to represent the people that put us in these seats. And the fact that the province is pushing this on us and can undermine those very people who put us in our seats, it's not fair, it's not democratic, and I absolutely oppose it. And I'm absolutely for saying no to the province again, that we don't accept this. This does come into effect May 1st. We should be taking a stand that we do not agree with this. It's already legislated, it's already coming. But this council has a duty to the people who put us in our seats to represent them and make sure that their voices are still strong and heard around this table.
Thank you, Councillor Cox. I'll go to Councillor Jacks.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just to further some commentary, I think that both are possible. I think that we can represent the people that that elected us to these seats, and we can make decisions that are in the best interest of the town of New Tecumseh with the information that we're privileged to have by holding these seats. I also don't have further in-depth or specific information as to what the municipalities who have already started to use their Strong Mayors Act, or power rather, but completely understanding that Councillor Rappin's information, I'm sure, is sound. I would like to think again, in the circumstances of New Tecumseh, as we were all engaged in a lengthy recruitment process of our CAO, interviews, selection, our voices were heard, we were given a very inclusive role in the selection. I suppose we could find ourselves in a position where we would terminate that employment or that decision that we made. But again, I'm choosing to look at this with a bit of faith in our integrity and rationality around this table to say, yes, everything that Councillor Cox has just stated is possible, but it's not probable. And so I'd like to err on the side of let's trust our judgment and our integrity. And we've said no. And that was a collective no to the province once. They're back again with the prescription. And so I just don't see in 3 days our stance in saying no, what benefit that it has with us in any regard.
Thank you for those comments. I'll go to the Deputy Mayor, please. And then Councillor Masters will come to you, and then I'll wrap it up and I'll call the vote.
I believe this will be coming back to council as we're in committee right now, so I urge everybody on this council to go and Google the mayors that have used Strong Mayors powers and why they've used them and how well that's gone for them and the decisions they're making with them. It's just, in my eyes, it's just dangerous. You shouldn't, the democracy wasn't built on one person. It was built on a majority rule. And I just think, and it's hard when we're discussing these things to not make it personal because we're the ones sitting here right now, right? But we're not just talking about it for this term of council, we're talking about it as we go forward. And part of our job as elected officials is sometimes the province does things that we have no say in. But we still have opinions, and we still need to let the residents of this town know that we're not, well, some of us are not okay with this, because this doesn't speak to majority. It doesn't speak to what they elected us for. Like, why do we need such a big council then? I mean, we should be slashing the size of our council if this is the way we're going to go, if we're going to give so much control to one person. And I think we need to send messages to the province, or they will just continue to do whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. Thanks.
Okay, Councillor Masters, I'll give you the last words, then I'll make a comment. I'm calling the vote.
Thank you, Your Worship. Integrity, integrity, integrity. If if we have a council that you believe, works on the best behalf of this town, then the rest of it is superfluous. It doesn't really mean anything. If we don't have integrity in this council, then what is there? I have a belief in our mayor that he'll do the right thing for council for the town when it comes to that matter. Speaking of integrity, apparently we have our integrity commissioner who's becoming toward council, and I don't know if he's going to be speaking on this. Perhaps he will be speaking on this matter. Anyway, in that case, I would move to defer this until we've heard from our integrity commissioner, so we can get a full understanding of the ramifications, at least from our council standpoint. As it's been said here, the government's going to do what the governments do, but I'm only interested in what we're going to do, how we act and work together. And if we believe we all have integrity, then I don't see the issue. But anyway, I move to defer this until we speak to John McCarron, Ms. Karen.
I'm going to go to the clerk now for procedure.
There's a motion for deferment. It has to be dealt with first, so you should ask for a seconder.
Thank you. I know but I just want the people at home watching to understand what we're doing. So is there a seconder for the deferral? I do not see a seconder, Madam Clerk, and so therefore the deferral is off the table. Okay. Councillor Cox, last words, and then I'm calling the vote, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you, only because someone brought up the fact that the Integrity Commissioner is coming to our next meeting to speak about this. I thought it would be incumbent on me just to let council know that the Integrity Commissioner he is coming for the technical presentation on how the powers operate. That doesn't change the principle at stake, and we're fully capable of reading legislation ourselves, and we should have done this when this was first announced as a council, and we're fully capable of recognizing that these changes affect the way that this council is going to govern. And if council wishes, before John Mascaron comes too, he's already made multiple presentations to other municipalities, including Grey County, that you can find online. And when John Mascaron presented to Grey County, he called strong mayor powers a huge change. He warned that it undermines the traditional democratic procedures on the municipal level. He stated that it disrupts the long-standing principles of majority rule, and he described the legislation as profoundly altering the role of councils across Ontario. So he didn't endorse the strong mayor system, which isn't his role to do. His tone was cautious, critical, and concerned. Therefore, waiting for his presentation to decide whether this is concerning would just be waiting for his professional assessment on the actual procedure.
Okay, thank you for those comments. I am going to make a statement, and then I'm going to read the motion. There's been good comments made around the table, and I appreciate that. We all have a lot of respect for each other, and we demonstrate that every other Monday night. And I just want to point out, though, since I've been mayor, I have always been consistent. I have always worked on building consensus. I've been transparent, and I've been open. And I'm always going to continue to do that. The province is not asking. They are mandating this. And I want to go on the record. I did not ask for this. In no way did I ask for this. And you know what? I didn't even know this was coming. I wish to maintain a good working relationship with the province and council, and especially in these uncertain times. Yes, John Mascaron is coming to the next council meeting to explain and answer questions. This, as I repeat, is a provincial decision. We have already sent this motion. We sent it to them. We collectively sent it when they offered, and we said, no, thank you, we're not interested. They did not listen to us. So my thought process is, you're right, we're a collective group of 10, and we're going to do democracy. But need to figure out it's not going away. How do we make this work for us? And I think that's where our focus needs to be, is how do we make it work for the town of New-Tecumseh, that we benefit from this, council benefits and the residents. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So I have a motion, CW1, and Councillor Cox, you want to move that? Do I have a seconder? Councillor Harrison McIntyre, thank you. Okay, give me a moment, please. Opposition to the strong mayor's powers designation in New Tecumseh. Recommendation, whereas the province of Ontario has recently expanded the strong mayor powers under OREG 530-22 to additional municipalities without municipal request or consultation. And whereas these powers grant the head of council the ability to unilaterally propose budgets, hire and fire senior staff, and veto bylaws, which significantly alters the established balance of municipal government decision-making. And whereas New Tecumseh has a long-standing tradition of collaborative leadership, transparent decision-making, and a governance structure that ensures all elected members have equal voice and representation of their constituents. And whereas the town of New Tecumseh was neither consulted nor did it request to be considered for the strong mayor designation. And whereas the unilateral nature of the strong mayor system may erode public trust, marginalize council input, and create governance challenges that undermine the democratic principle of majority rule. And whereas many Ontario municipalities have voiced concerns about the imposition of these powers, citing risks to collegial governance, effective policymaking, and local accountability, now therefore be resolved that the Council of the Town of New Tecumseh formally oppose the application of strong mayor powers within its jurisdiction. And further, the Council requests the Premier of Ontario and the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing remove New Tecumseh from any current or future consideration under the strong mayor legislative framework. And further, that any future governance changes of this magnitude be subject to fulsome consultation with the municipality, including local elected officials and the public. And further, that a copy of this resolution be sent to the Premier of Ontario, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, all MPPs representing Simcoe County, the County of Simcoe, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, AMO, and all Ontario municipalities for their support and awareness. It was moved by Councillor Cox, seconded by Councillor Harrison McIntyre. All those in favor? And that carries. Thank you. Okay, I'm moving on to, just give me a moment, Council. We're going to go to CW21. Councillor Biss, you pulled that. Thank you.
Thank you, Worship. Through your worship to the members of the Traffic Advisory Committee, I believe Councillor Gabrick and Councillor Masters are now the ones that are representing council. First of all, a great report. Once again, great work that this advisory committee is doing on behalf of the council and on behalf of the residents. I just want to make a couple comments. One, it's sorry to see that member Tracy Mason is going to be moving on. She's a strong member of the committee, and it's too bad that she's submitted a resignation. Also, I want to thank the Traffic Advisory Committee for inviting Leah Ems, who is the Ontario Federation of Agricultural member of, she's the service representative for both Peel and York regions, as well as Simcoe County. I just want to thank the committee, like I said, for having her come and make a deputation on behalf of the farming community. And I understand that Sergeant Chris McConnell has indicated that he'll be collaborating with Ms. Ems to enhance public awareness on the issues that were brought up. So thank you very much. I just have one question. Under unfinished business, I noticed that a townwide speed limit map was provided to the committee through your worship to the committee members or to staff. Is it possible that council could receive a copy of the map?
Yeah, I think that's certainly possible, but I'll go to Councillor Gabrick. She's put her microphone on. Councillor Gabrick?
Sorry, I had my microphone on, Your Worship, for a different topic on the same subject. But I can certainly forward that to council.
Okay, thank you.
And Councillor Biss in particular.
Okay, great, thank you. So that's good. Councillor Biss. Okay, so Councillor Gabrick, you had a comment or a question?
Thank you. I was glad to see that you pulled the item. I was also going to pull it just because when we did have the representative from the OFA with us, she did speak to us initially about speed limits and how it affects the agricultural community. But while she was there, she also spoke to us a little bit about roundabouts, which is something that the TAC committee has also been tasked with, which is developing a new policy for the municipality as it concerns roundabouts. And she talked about, vehicular width and difficulty getting around things. So she did bring some good insight that we will share with this council. The committee has also been asked to develop a sidewalk policy. So that will be coming on our next agenda. And I just wanted to make sure that members of the community knew about the Traffic Advisory Committee and knew that their input, especially, you know, everyone from regular citizens to special interest groups such as our farmers, we'd love to hear from you. And Carrie Wallace is our coordinator on that committee. And so people can definitely submit an email to be registered to speak. And that email address is clerk@newtecumseth.ca. And then we can hear from you if you have any input that you'd like to share with us on either the speed policy, roundabout policy, or the upcoming sidewalk policy. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. So we have a recommendation that the Traffic Advisory Committee summary report dated April 3rd, 2025 be received. Councillor Gabrick, you would move that, and Councillor Masters, you would second that. Thank you. They all in favor? That's carried. Thank you, Council. The last item on the agenda tonight is CW52, 2025 Community Grant Program request, and that was called by Councillor Biss, please.
Thank you, Worship. Through your worship to staff, great report once again. I'm glad that you've taken this responsibility off of our shoulders and have done the hard work. I just have one quick question. I noticed that in the recommendation, the final line says, and further that the community grants program be closed for 2025. My question is that in the community fee waiver category, there's still $9,000 remaining. Now, because it's fee waivers that may happen during the year when other events come up or situations arise, can requests still be received through 2025 until the budget has been exhausted?
I'm going to go to Director Mobbs, please.
Thank you, Your Worship, to the councillor. My understanding is based on past practice, if council wanted to open up and reconsider another request that came through, then that consideration could be put forward by council. But as of, by virtue of the report, this would close it for this time period.
Okay, thank you very much for that answer. Did you have a supplementary, Councillor Biss?
Just a clarification,
Sure.
through your worship, to Director Mobbs. So just, the applications would be closed. However, the members of the public could make a special application to your department, or would they have to come as a deputation to council?
To the councillor, that would have to be done through a deputation because the application process is closed.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Harrison McIntyre?
Sorry, excuse me. Thank you, Your Worship. I'm just looking under the Arts, Culture, and Tourism grant and noticing that the Treetop Planning Committee is receiving over $7,000 for their events. And I'm wondering how that is, why that's underneath arts, culture, and specifically tourism. I understand that they are community events, but they're in the same category as the Alliston Potato Festival, the Tottenham Bluegrass Festival, all sorts of other long-established events that actually do bring people from far and wide to the community. And in fact, the amount that they're receiving is more than something like the Beaton Honey and Garden Festival. And I think that when we look at what people are asking for, we really need to evaluate the significance of the event and whether it's actually something that can survive without the support of council. Because if you're going to put an event on and the only way you can afford to do it is by council's support, then maybe you need to reevaluate the model.
Okay, I'm going to go to the director. Did you want to respond or take it under advisement? What's your preference, please?
Thank you, Your Worship. To the councillor, just wanted to note to council, the applicant actually chooses a criteria in the category that they apply for. And that certainly your comments could be taken under advisement next year. But the sustainability of each event is certainly taken under consideration by the committee.
Thank you. Supplementary, Councillor Harrison McIntyre.
Thank you. So I understand that the, can you just clarify that the sustainability of the event is that they have to, is it a 50%? And I think perhaps if 50% of of their budget is what we're setting as a criteria for being able to put the event on, that might be, again, something that we need to look at, because, again, events are expensive, and if we're going to continue to take on more and more events, then that is just not sustainable for this growing community. Perhaps the number needs to shift to something like 75% or 90%, and we'll chip in 10%. That would be my suggestion in this case.
Okay, thank you for those comments. Councillor Biss.
Thank you, Worship. Through your Worship to Councillor Harrison McIntyre, just a couple of things of note. The Boo Bash was designated by this council as a municipally significant event. So that ties into how important it is to us as a community in order to unite the community. Also, I'll also point out to council the fact that the Boo Bash, though it has an interesting name, it does bring together all of our communities to the treetops, which, as we've talked about before, even tonight, I believe one of the councillors mentioned that there are 3 communities. There are not. We have 4 communities in the town of New Tecumseh, which only even highlights the importance of actually supporting what the Treetops community is trying to do. What they really want to do is they really want to integrate into our community. They want to provide a conduit to which people from the Treetops can come into the downtown cores and spend their money and enjoy the recreation in our facilities, and also invite other people to enjoy their community. So I look forward to having the pump track in the Treetops as well. So there's a lot of things that we can do to reciprocate in order to help them launch this. And as we know, they've done the Boo Bash. This will be the 3rd time they've done it, and it'll be the first time that the town of New Tecumseh has ever provided them with any funding.
Okay, thank you for those comments. Last word, Councillor Harrison McIntyre.
I just want to clarify that naming something a significant event does not mean that it's a significant event. We were really clear about that when it was brought forward for us to acknowledge the Craftsman Center Pride Parade, that we were not saying it was a significant event because it is a significant event, because it had never been really put on before. It was more a way to anticipate the needs of the community and the needs of our public works in terms of providing assistance for setup and takedown, okay? Because I was really clear about that during that argument.
Oh, okay, thank you. I think we are. So we have a resolution here, CW5, Community Services, 2025 Community Grant Program requests recommendation that report number RFC 2025-03 be received. Refer that the 2025 Community Grant Programs requests within the categories of arts, culture, and tourism grants, community event grants, and community fee waiver grants be approved, as outlined in attachment number 1, and in accordance with the Community Grant Program policy. And further, that funding for approved event requests shall only be released to organizers once the event is confirmed in writing to be taking place in 2025 to the satisfaction of the Director of Recreation, Facilities, and Culture, or a designate. And further, that the Community Grant Program be closed for 2025. Councillor Biss, did you want to move that? Thank you very much. Do we have a seconder? The Deputy Mayor would like to second that. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you, Council. Okay, so we have no public notices. We do, we have our adjournment and recommendation that the Committee of the Whole meeting of April 28, 2025 adjourn at 7:18. Councillor Masters, you'll move that? I'll move that. Councillor Cox, second that? Yeah, thank you. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you very much, Council.
So Council, if we can move into the executive boardroom and we'll continue on. Actually, sorry, Your Worship, before we do that, we need to move into closed session.
I don't have All right, okay, just clarifying. Be it resolved, the council reconvene into open meeting at 7:58. Following discussions of items 2025, new Tecumseh Virtual Wall of Honor nominee selection, CS2 proposed property acquisitions, Mill Street, Queen Street, Tottenham. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Masters, Deputy Mayor. All those in favor? That's carried. 2025, new Tecumseh Virtual Wall of Honor nominee selection motion. Be it resolved that report number admin 2025-13 we received for the confidential direction therein be approved. So moved by Councillor Jacks, second by Councillor Gabrick. All those in favor? And that's carried. CS2, proposed property acquisitions. Be it resolved that report number SS 2025-01 be received and further the confidential direction therein be approved. And I read the address correct, Madam Clerk? Or no?
No, if you just want to leave it for now, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you very much. And that was moved by Councillor Jacks, seconded by Councillor Gabrick. All those in favor? That's carried. Motion be resolved with the bylaw 2025-045 to confirm the proceedings of the council closed meeting held on April 28, 2025 be read a first, second, and third time and enacted. Councillor Cox, will you move that? Councillor Rappin, you second that? All in favor? Carried. Adjournment. Be it resolved the meeting adjourned at 7:59. Deputy Mayor, will you remove that? Thank you. Councillor Masters, will you second that? Thank you. Great meeting, everybody. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry. That was a good one.
15-5.
God, the Deputy Mayor keeps telling me the seat vote, so it's distracting.